Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. No. Oh, my God. I didn't know that was Tagilla.
Well, I'm pretty excited to talk about today's game because I think that I'm the first one.
Hey, are you talking about Escape from Tarkov?
Oh, actually, no. I'm close. It's Escape from Tarkov. It's still the same game, and of course, you have to buy the game in order to play this, but it's a different version. It's actually called SPTarkov, which stands for Single Player Tarkov. And what that means?
Wait, single player Tarkov? You're a pussy. You're a pussy. You can't play the main games. You have to play. Hey, guys, he's a pussy. Hey, he's a fucking pussy.
Hey,
look, he's playing SP Tarkov. Look, he's a fucking idiot.
All right,
he can't even play the game by himself. He can't play the main game. He sucks at it.
I've covered Tarkov on this channel more than a couple times, and while I've always said it is one of the hardest games ever made, it's also one of the most enjoyable. I can't describe it really. There's something that feels really good about going into a raid and finding all sorts of great useful shit and escaping without a scratch. Even better when you encounter players or scavs and live to tell the tale, as getting kills is a good way to earn XP on top of completing quests for the traders. But Tarkov is also equally as tormenting as it is entertaining. Due to its high risk, high reward gameplay mechanic, I often struggle to enjoy the core game, and I'll admit, it's mostly a skill issue. I don't have the time devotion or the energy to be good at Tarkov in today's market. And frankly, I spent over $100 on the Edge of Darkness edition long ago, under the false impression my friends would play it with me and help me learn things. Fuck them, I'm doing this myself. I know I've criticized the game many times, but I'm a sucker for extraction type games that make me think and offer a decent challenge to players in the process. But for me, Tarkov is a game that not only requires a certain amount of skill and hand-eye coordination, it also depends heavily on your time investment. Players who are cracked out in this game probably have a lot of excess free time, if not plenty of genuine experience over the years, but I myself have been unable to invest as much into it due to a few reasons. Tarkov's gameplay is a love-hate relationship for me. I've talked about this in particular so much that you probably think I'm a broken fucking record at this point, but I assure you that's not the case. Tarkov isn't a bad game, but it is extremely difficult. I don't care what anybody says to try and counter that claim, it's the truth. It has become a game that I've been both sickened and sweetened by in many ways. A toxic relationship, if you will. But what if I told you that just recently I discovered a mod for Tarkov that changed everything you know about it? You'd probably scratch your head wondering how the fuck Tarkov was able to be modded in the first place. I don't know or care, because today's video is merely a smidgen of how awesome and fun Tarkov can truly be when you're all by yourself. That's right. This mod is called SPTarkov, which stands for Single Player Tarkov, obviously enough. It doesn't mean you're entirely alone, it just means you are the only live player in a match at all times, and you can loot everything you wish while dodging scavs, bosses, scav snipers, and even player bots on any map of your choosing. It's a fucking dream come true for someone like me to discover this mod. Since I lack the actual fundamental skills and time to play the legitimate game, this mod serves as the perfect quote-unquote training mode while granting you XP and allowing you to keep everything you find. It's just like a practice raid, only everything counts towards your score and you can complete quests as well and level up. Now, I obviously need to stress this because of Battlestate Games' strict policy on modding or altering their properties, including their games. This video may or may not be a good idea to upload, but it's so strange for me to experience it firsthand. Never in my life would I think a game like Tarkov would be available for quote-unquote offline play. Since this is technically a hacked version of Tarkov, I'm not entirely sure what the rules are. It's not considered cheating because you're never placed in an online lobby. The game solely consists of you, yourself, and bots. Player bots will spawn throughout the world, but their gear and equipment are always randomized depending on your character's level. You won't have to worry about encountering cheaters, wall hacks, or any bullshit like that. You can just play the game by yourself, almost as if you were playing combat training. I should mention that this isn't just some free download you can find online, and I'm not at all talking piracy here. If you don't currently own Tarkov the legitimate way, which is purchasing it off of the official website for Battlestate Games, you won't be able to use this mod. Another reason why I don't consider this mod cheating, because it requires the full game to play, so you have to spend money regardless to enjoy it. And as I stated, it's just me. I'm the only real player in any of the maps I'm playing, so there's no risk of me hurting anyone's feelings or breaking rules. I can simply relax, sit back, and have the time of my goddamn life while exploring Tarkov's multiple areas and practicing with bots. It's the perfect training mode, and it works wonders for anyone like myself who doesn't want to feel competitive. The developers of Tarkov supposedly have made a comment about the release of SPTarkov, claiming they're unhappy with players seldomly taking advantage of their game with an offline feature that they never intended. Although there haven't been any reports of bans for anyone using SPTarkov, I just wanted to lend you a warning if you're a hardcore fan of the base game and are even slightly curious to try this out. I personally consider this a much more improved offline raid mode for the main game. You're not attached to any online handles besides a private server that's hosted within the mod platform itself. I can't describe it perfectly, but I can tell you that it has helped me immensely with learning the ropes for other maps that I've been way too scared and nervous to try in the past. Thanks to SPTarkov, I've mastered not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of the game's main maps so far. Although, to a Tarkov veteran, that number will make you laugh. For someone like me who's looking to enjoy the game and witness the scenery within, learn the ropes of the locations, and feel intrigued while playing without having to worry about losing all of my best shit, it works fine. There are other mods available for Tarkov that you can install from the SPTarkov mod page, like this one that flat out tells you where enemies are on a huge radar. Playing with this makes me feel filthy, but it helps to know the exact positioning for certain enemies and learning how the sound travels from different distances, like footsteps and gunshots. I mean, I can sugarcoat it all I want, but it is a massive fucking slap to the face of anyone who enjoys this game normally. Personally, I only use this radar mod to navigate the maps I didn't know, so I could avoid as much conflict as possible while learning landmarks and researching maps on my phone. I've had many close calls and even many deaths in this adaptation. Don't think for 1 second that just because I have this fancy radar and shit that the difficulty of the game has changed. I still die a lot with this mod, but it feels more forgiving knowing that I didn't get killed by a hacker or a fucking level 68 sweat. At least I know for sure in this version that if I die, it's my fault. Whereas in the main game, the devs haven't even distributed shit against cheaters, so yeah, I'll continue to play this and enjoy it because that's why I bought the Edge of Darkness edition, to enjoy it. But enough of that. What else can you do with this outstanding mod? Fellas, if you've been struggling to play the main game, let me tell you to stop twiddling your thumbs and get this mod installed ASAP. It's got a lot inside of it that I want to go over, so join me if you wish. Obviously, with each raid, you get to choose what gear you want to bring in and what items you'd like insured. At first, I thought that insurance didn't work as a mechanic in SPTarkov, but recently I had checked and noticed I got everything back that I lost in raid. If you're looking for a more obvious challenge, you can download a mod where player and scav bots will loot the environment and bodies of others, including you if they get the chance. Any Tarkov fan will recognize a stinky scav from a distance of 100 kilometers, but this time around we also have player bots, controlled entirely by a computer-operated fake user. I don't know how the fuck it works, but it works. These are not real people that I'm fighting. Even their names can be randomly generated along with their kits. That is so fucking cool. Normally, I avoid other players in Tarkov like the fucking plague, but with this mod, I've been pushing them one by one and getting so much better at the overall experience. And as I stated earlier, it is anything but easy. There are plenty of intense moments still, and it took me a whole day of getting used to it, but it feels so natural and fun to play as compared to the main game, basically because it's everything I wanted. A genuine fair challenge and less like a punishment. And as vast as Tarkov is, it only makes sense to visit as many of the available maps as possible. Being a customs main, I was uncomfortable going to the other famous places, but due to the absolute madmen that designed this genius version, I've gone in with no fear and left with all the gear. Personally, I think Reserve is one of my favorites. Even though it's surrounded by scavs and has a landmine death zone just along the outskirts of the map, it feels fresh to me and looks fantastic. This is the first time I've ever played on this map, and I would have never done it without this mod. Pick on me all you want in the comments, but it won't stop me from having fun on my own. So, what else can you do all on your own in Tarkov besides loot any location of your choosing and navigate the dangerous terrains? For starters, Quests are still the big way to earn XP. Sure, you stand way more of a chance against the enemies you'll face in the world of Tarkov now that the players are gone, but there's still plenty of people who are gonna shoot at you. You might as well shoot back. I mean, what else am I gonna do? Run away from a fucking bot? In a mere 2 days, I was able to complete the beginning quests fairly quickly, and I'm currently on some tougher ones. Most of the quests require specific keys to access certain locations, and keys, as we all know, are extremely rare to find in a raid. The gear and guns I have found off of both scavs and players is almost unbelievable to me. I don't think the loot has been touched with this mod, but I somehow always get lucky and find decent things, so who knows. I got luckier and managed to find a marked bedroom key for Lighthouse, which is the only map left that I still haven't played, besides Streets. All of the others keep me invested for the most part, but I'd imagine it would probably be a much different experience if other players were hunting me. A much less fun experience. But sadly, some keys in the game are fucking useless. I can't go to the marked room on Lighthouse due to the landmines. It's an instant death trap, essentially making the key a big middle finger that you can carry in your pocket. Great. Boy, do I feel foolish. I walked all the way over here on this end of the map, and guess what? The marked key that I have is useless. It does not open the door, I mean it does, like it does open the door, but I can't get there because of the landmines and the snipers. There's no possible way that I can go there. I totally just wasted my time coming all the way down here. The one thing I have always wanted to see in the game are the fucking cultists. I'm so intrigued by their ability to sneak through the shadows and their lore. I feel like I don't know shit about them. In all my years, I've never seen a cult member in the game, but goddamn, that would be cool. Maybe next time when I talk about this game, it'll be when I'm hunting them down. If I can even fucking find them. Reserve is a tricky map because almost every extract has a specific way of using it. In most of the maps, you can run from one end to the other and find an extract fairly quickly if you're using a map. But here, you'd be lucky if you find an extract that doesn't require you to donate blood. The hermetic bunker doors are a common exfil for PMCs, but it requires the power to be turned on. You have to go next to these chess piece marked buildings and look for a small shack with an ajar entrance. Walking inside, you'll see the hermetic bunker's power control. On top of that, the second you flip the switch, you're being timed. You have a total of 3 to 4 minutes maybe to run from the power station all the way back to the bunker. To kick you while you're down, there's this ominous and terrifying alarm that goes off on a loop all across the map through loudspeakers. Alerting every player in the game that the bunker is now open. How about all the way up here? This one's called Cliff Descent, and it's right behind the King's Observatory, or whatever the fuck this spherical building's called. But look at this, I need paracord? That's just great. Wish I'd known that before I climbed my ass all the way up here. Even if you have paracord, I happened to get extremely lucky in this raid and found some, you still have to ditch your fucking armor. Jesus, you think that's enough requirements to climb down a mountain? You want me to ditch my pants and underwear next? Sewer manhole won't work if you're wearing a backpack that's considered too big, which doesn't make sense, and I'd imagine it can make for some intense decision making in the event of an emergency. I've heard people say you can't go down sewer manhole with any backpack, but others have said the tea and duffel bags will allow you to enter no problem. Armored train? Oh boy, possibly the coolest extract I had the pleasure of using. Armored train arrives at the 15-minute mark of the raid most of the time. Once it arrives, players have 5 minutes until it leaves without them. It's protected entirely from the outside, despite a few see-through windows here and there, but boy does it feel damn good to have a satisfying raid and go out in style using this extract. D2 is the underground extract, and it too requires the activation of a power switch. You have to head to the White Pawn apartment building just to the left of the helicopter. You go inside, follow a few hallways, and flip a switch on the wall that turns the power on within the bunker. Now you have to head further down through a mystifying series of hallways and scenic pipelines until you finally find the switch that activates the D2 door. Holy shit, that's complicated. To be honest though, I really like the different complex factors that go into extracts. You can't always rely on Google to tell you the way out with a map when the extract requires a bit more than the usual footwork. Try not to mess around too much though, because even on the easiest bot difficulty, they're unpredictable. There have been plenty of moments on the easy bot difficulty where I got fucked up in the blink of an eye. It's all about coordination and learning from your mistakes. After all, we're all fucking human. We have to learn to shit before we learn to wipe. So just take it on the chin if you die and lose your stuff. Keep in mind, SPTarkov only works if it's installed on an SSD. I tried to use it with my base storage device and the game wouldn't work. I highly recommend making some space so you can download the necessary files. Now, if you're here to complain and say that this is just a really cheap way to play the game in a totally out of rhythm style from what it presented in the first place, let me just say this. Try about it. The game is obviously intended for the hardest of players, the kind of people who smoke crack and play every Dark Souls that comes out each year, but that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to enjoy it in my own way, and I'll continue to do just that. As should you. If you're looking to play the game again after being too angry or annoyed with it, you should definitely consider getting this mod. I obviously recommend buying the official game to support the devs as well. After all, it is their game. Some of the mods you can get are pretty cool, but I'm unable to find any more. The only available ones are on the official SPTarkov page, so I'll just talk about the ones I personally prefer. The radar mod, even though it's a massive slap in the face to the OG fans, is pretty handy. Different colors on the blips represent different types of enemies, green representing scavs, orange representing raiders/bosses, and the yellow being a bear/PMC bot. And like I said, it doesn't mean shit. You still carry the chance to die regardless if you know where everyone is or not. The game is just designed like that. I also found a hit marker mod that allows you to see how much damage you do to an enemy, complete with satisfying visual effects. This makes it very easy for me to tell when I'm actually hitting my mark and not just wasting my ammo. I guess the only major downside to playing SPTarkov is that you'll eventually get so good at learning the maps, exfils, enemy types and variants, all that shit, that you'll start to find yourself with a false sense of security. I know for a fact that if I played against real players on any of these, chances are I'm getting screwed from the back. That means I'd be taking back shots for anyone who doesn't know. No, but seriously, it doesn't bother me if anyone finds it offensive that SPTarkov exists. I've been obsessed with it since I discovered it thanks to another YouTuber's comment, and I'm happily enjoying the game the way I've wanted to. Nobody's getting hacked, no cheats are being used. It's just a nice modded version of a game that once frustrated the fucking piss out of me. And yeah, alright, no cheats are being used. The radar, but that's like the only one. Will I return to the original game? Of course. I can't stay away too long from the devs, and it doesn't help that SPTarkov's wipe is way older than the newest one. That means there's no ground zero map or snow or anything. But this does still feel like genuine, amazing, and tough as fuck Tarkov while offering a fair challenge. And that's all that matters to me. Someday, I'd love to do a video going over every single extract in Tarkov and how to work them, and now that this mod exists, I can do just that and earn XP in the process. Sounds like a win-win situation to me. Anyways, I'm done rambling about it. If you guys own EFT and want to enjoy the experience for yourself, I highly recommend you get SPTarkov now. Learn the ropes of any map you want, customize the match settings to your liking, and go out there and fucking raid. Support the devs, support the modders, and support yourself with a much more fair and balanced Tarkov experience. I shall see you guys next time, and thanks for watching. Oh my god! I didn't know that was Tagilla!